Hello everyone, and welcome back to NCAA 2004, and we are back in the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode here with another humongous, colossal matchup, baby. We are playing the number 3 team in the nation, the Arkansas Razorbacks, if you can believe it. I'm sure you can believe it, because Arkansas is good every year. They just have been. It's the only team in the SEC that's been on the similar trajectory that we have been. I've mentioned that plenty of times, but they are back once again. Now, we've had an interesting last couple seasons with the Razorbacks, as the last time we were in Fayetteville for this game, we lost. We lost. It was a huge loss that we sustained. Of course, it ended our chances of going back-to-back a few years ago. But then last year, we absolutely got revenge in Tuscaloosa, man. We absolutely pummeled these Razorbacks. We dropped 60 on their heads and walked out of that one with a huge old dub on our way to our next national championship. And so now this is another huge game, man. All signs point to us losing this game if you're just following the trends and following the trend of us taking a year off in between natties. all signs would point to us losing this game today, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I would keep it open-ended if I were you guys. Keep an open mind. Arkansas did go on to have a pretty decent year last year. They always typically do. And they won the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma State, who we also beat last year, and finished 11-2 for, like, I don't know, the millionth time in their in this sim, like the millionth time. Arkansas's good. You don't need me to tell you that they're good. But one of the things that we've been struggling with so far, as you just saw on the screen here, is Dre Gates, bro. He's become a turnover machine. And that's something we need to put a pin in, because he has certainly been turning the ball over a lot. But this Arkansas team has some good pieces and good fixtures of it that we're going to have to watch out for here. They don't have a lot of like repeating or recurring starters, but they have a lot of guys who have just been on the team for a good long while here. So we're going to be seeing a few familiar names that you might have heard in the last couple of games between Arkansas or whatnot, but a fumble early on is going to give us an opportunity on offense, so we'll see what Dre Gates and the Crimson Tide can do with that, as he is under pressure and on the run. He's got to throw one on a dime, and he somehow finds Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I was just talking smack about the guy in the pregame, and he's going to come out and that's going to be the first pass we're going to watch from him. Look at this, dude. Look at this. A huge just Olay missed block. A very unfortunate Olay missed block for Marion Bradley, the right guard. But even then, Dre Gates still able to overcome that. So we can take an early touchdown here, but Arkansas is now on the move here, as Fred Dalton, the quarterback for Arkansas, is able to hit Jock Rucker. Jesus. Jock Rucker, the tight end. We're falling apart here. But it's third down now for the Razorbacks, and Dalton just going to send this to nobody, I guess. He's going to send this to the ghost receiver, I guess, to the receivers of old of Arkansas. I don't know, because that was going absolutely nowhere. But now on a 4th and 8 for a field goal attempt, already kind of a long field goal attempt, and there's a flag, man. There's a false start on Arkansas, so that's going to send them back another handful of yards here and make a pretty difficult field goal attempt into an even more difficult field goal attempt and make it a 4th and 13. They're still going to try it now. They're still going to keep the team out there, but actually, no, they're not. They're going to go for a fake field goal, and it's going to pay off. It's actually going to work, as Rucker, the tight end, is able to get this completion on the fake field goal. I mean, what's up with fake field goals this season, man? What's going on? Why are people doing the fake field goals? I'm tired of seeing them. Knock it off. But Arkansas now, late in the first quarter, going to try and get into the end zone on an option play. Dalton's going to pitch this one off to the running back. It's actually a backup running back. It's not even the starting running back, but he's going to get into the end zone regardless, and that's going to be a touchdown for Arkansas. So a lot of theatrics, a lot of back and forth on that drive here for the Razorbacks, but they do finally score. So things are not up at 7 apiece, and now Arkansas back with the football heading the other way. But Dalton's going to find a defender, and this one is heading the other way, as that pass is going to be intercepted, and you love to see it, man. That was Joel Davis, the right outside linebacker, the senior, coming down with another interception for our defense, as Dalton just thought, I don't know, maybe he didn't see him there. He thought he could get it over Davis. I'm not entirely sure, but it's an interception regardless. It all works the same. So now we're moving the other way here, deep in Razorback territory, and Dre Gates going to drop back to pass here, looking around in the pocket, trying to find some open room, and he finds Ryan Reynolds wide open in the middle of the field between a few defenders for another completion and a huge pickup through the air. So the Ryan Reynolds connection is working so far here in Fayetteville. You got to love it. So 1st and goal inside the 10 now. We're going to hand this one off to Blackman, who's going to get dragged into the end zone, and that is going to be touchdown number 9 for Blackman, who, kind of like Justin Ferguson or Raiders series, hasn't really been lighting up the score sheet in terms of yardage, but he's been getting touchdowns left and right. That dude's been scoring a ton of touchdowns. So 14-7 is now the score here in Fayetteville, and Dalton is going to find another linebacker of ours. Another bad decision from Fred Dalton as he manages to find, I can't remember if it was Nathan Ellison. I think it was Nathan Ellison, the linebacker, or was it? I'm trying to remember. Oh, we're gonna get a nice little review at it. Okay, a little replay at it now. It's not. I thought it might have been Nathan Ellison, but it was one of our backup linebackers. So good on them for keeping the defense productive here. So Fred Dalton, unfortunately, man, it just, I don't know, it seems to be kind of spiraling out. He came into this game with a similar touchdown INT split to Dre Gates. He was a 3-3, and Dre Gates is at 6-6. So Fred Dalton has been having problems with turning the football over so far in this season. But Dre Gates is not having problems finding open receivers in the end zone as he is able to find another open Crimson Tide receiver. This time, he manages to hit Hines across the middle of the field, who's going to step into the end zone and get himself another touchdown on the year here. I believe that's just his first touchdown. I think it might have been his first touchdown. So he's been getting a lot of receptions, but hasn't really been in the end zone a whole lot. But now, again, we're going to pile on to the lead as Dre Gates floats one out to Ryan Reynolds, and it's another touchdown for the Crimson Tide. And Dre Gates has just been completely lighting things up through the air, man. So the interception problem is one that you just have to focus on because he's not having problems moving the offense and scoring points. So, it's something you just got to be aware of, I know the game in Minnesota and even the Idaho game were kind of a little bit shaky from an offensive performance, just efficiency-wise, but we are looking absolutely lights out right now in this game. But Dre Gates is going to get hit from behind here as a sack comes up from behind him, and that's going to be a strip sack as he coughs the football up on the ground. And he does fumble the football a lot. That's something I also wanted to mention. I edit out a lot of them since we typically recover them, but he does fumble the ball a lot. He does get strip sacked quite a bit. So it's at least happened 3 or 4 times. So, but now Fred Dalton trying to get anything moving on offense with the Razorbacks, and that's going to go absolutely nowhere as we have more than a few defenders in the end zone to break up that third down pass. So bring out the special teams unit for a fourth down and a field goal attempt, and they're not going to fake it this time. They're just going to kick for it, and maybe we can see now why they faked it earlier because maybe their kicker just does not have the chops. So Arkansas is going to remain at 7 points today, and that's it's a brutal day for them. It's continuing to get worse. But Dre Gates finally getting stalled out on offense here as that pass sails into the dirt here. It looks like he tried to hit maybe Blackman, but either way, we're going to bring out Dennis here on a 4th and 8 to try and at least add another 3 points here in the third quarter. The kick is up, and it is good. Kick is good. So I was just kind of scared. We have missed field goals in this game. You kind of get scared. But that kick is good from Dave Dennis, and that is now going to extend the lead here 31-7 over the Razorbacks. Yeesh. Yeesh. If you could believe more points, more scoring happens, it does. And on an option play now, hold on, we got a little bit of life here on Arkansas's run game here as Fred Dalton pitches one off to Jabari Madison, the starting running back for Arkansas, who had to catch that pitch off of his back. It was just rolling off of his back, but he managed to get it and turn it into a pretty impressive play on the ground. So 3rd and 10, and now it's another interception, and this time it's Ellison. This time it's the middle linebacker, Nathan Ellison, the junior, who manages to get an interception. I thought it was him earlier in the game, but it was not. So, but Ellison does finally get one. So we have 3 linebackers, 3 different linebackers with 3 interceptions in this game, and Dalton just, I don't know, is just not seeing at that first little row there, at the second level, he's just not seeing it. I don't know, for some reason, but it looks like Dre Gates is not going to leave this game without getting one himself as he throws himself his 7th interception of the game. I think he's got 4 touchdowns, so the split's a little bit better at least, but yeah, that's still, another interception. We're talking like 11-7 right now. It's not great. So, but the game is still handily in our favor. But Arkansas is going to try and at least move the ball forward here. And can you believe that? That was an incomplete pass. He had it in his hands, but just couldn't haul it in all the way down to the ground. That was Nolan Blackwell, one of the freshman receivers here at Arkansas. He could not get it. So fast forward to a 3rd and 3, and now they're going to go on the ground. It looks like it might have been the fullback who got the call, Leroy Parsons, I believe. Maybe got the handoff on that call. Looks like he got the first down there. And yeah, that was Leroy Parsons, one of the seniors on this team. And this team's full of seniors. You'd think they perform a little bit better against our team that's a little bit younger in a lot of places, but either way. So Dalton's going to send this one to the end zone. That one's going to go absolutely nowhere as our defense just continues to be as effective as possible. We have a lot of great DBs, and they just seem to keep forcing Arkansas to make some hard decisions here late in the third quarter. The Razorbacks are just going to go for the points here, just take whatever they can get, and that kick is up. And finally, it is good here as their kicker is able to get one through the uprights and not to the outside of them. So another 3 points for Arkansas. Good for them, I guess. Good for them. It's 31-10 now. But on the ensuing kickoff here, Arkansas is going to kick this one away. And now on the return, it's Joshua Bowen who's going to get popped. And he's going to fumble the football. And Arkansas is going to recover it deep in our own end. So, hey, man, I don't know what it is on this channel about, losing kick and punt returns. But it's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's a channel-wide epidemic, and it's got to stop. I don't know what's going on, but it's got to stop. So 31-10 now is still the score, but Arkansas with an opportunity on 4th and 2. They got stopped on 3rd down, and Dalton out of desperation is going to hit Rucker, the tight end, across the middle again for another 1st down. And so they managed to get the 1st down, but not the touchdown. But having to convert on a 4th and 2, this is the kind of state that the Razorback team is currently in right now. As even then, Dalton got popped off of the edge, and the pressure has just been a huge issue and a problem. And I think it was Davis, maybe the right outside linebacker, once he had the interception earlier. I think he got off on the edge and managed to lay some contact onto Dalton. So 1st and goal now for the Razorback offense, and they're going to go right on the ground to Jabari Madison, who's finally going to get himself a touchdown in this game. He's had over 13. He's had 13 or more touchdowns in his last 2 seasons, starting for the Razorbacks. So he's been probably one of the most prominent fixtures for the Arkansas offense in the last few seasons. That's still on this team that we're playing today. You know, he's a familiar face here, but he was definitely more effective in his previous couple seasons than he has been in this game. But the Crimson Tide are not done yet either, man. We are not done as Dre Gates manages to hit Darius Van along the sidelines for a huge pickup, but it's already 3rd and 6 once again against this defense here, as a lot of 3rd downs for both teams have been faced, and we are still just trying to eat as much clock as possible, and Blackman's going to get the call, and that run is going to go absolutely nowhere. Going to go absolutely nowhere. Arkansas cannot be fooled. They know the strategy. They've done their homework. They've read the scheme. They figured it out. So bring out Dennis here on a 4th and 8 for another field goal opportunity, and he is going to nail it. So 34-17 is your score, and now both teams just kind of throwing points at the scoreboard. The ratio's not really getting all that much more improved. It seems to be sitting exactly where it is. But 1st and 10 now for Arkansas heading the other way, and Dalton with another interception. And don't tell me it's going all the way back, and it is a defensive touchdown. So just when you think it couldn't get any worse for Arkansas, Nat Bentley, one of the DBs listed here, he's a sophomore. He's like 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. But Nat Bentley manages to get an interception here. Just completely mows over his receiver, too. Spin move away from the lineman. I mean, what are you doing to him, Eddie? What are you doing to him, Bentley? What are you doing? And Dalton just continues to have a terrible, no-good, bad day for the Razorbacks, and that's going to end in a 41-23 victory for your Crimson Tide, as Arkansas would add another touchdown very, very late in the game. And we pick up another win against the Razorbacks. So we just continue our dominance over Arkansas in this rivalry, despite the fact that Arkansas has had a lot of kind of, I don't want to say final laughs, but, you know, the losses that we've sustained at their hands have been really catastrophic in the seasons that they've happened. But historically, we have kind of owned Arkansas in this rivalry, so I'm not super mad about it. And we take down the number 3 team in the country, so I felt kind of confident about scheduling a very easy out-of-conference schedule, because I knew that we'd have to play Arkansas, who's going to be a top 5 ranked team most likely when we played them, and I was right. And I also scheduled Notre Dame, who's probably going to be, you know, either 2 or 3 by the time we play them as well. So I figured we'd play, you know, if you're going to play 2 of the top 5 teams of the country, even nowadays in real life, teams don't even do that, you know. So if that, I knew that was going to be the schedule ahead. I thought we could afford to play some nice climate-controlled dome games in Minnesota and in Moscow. So I don't feel all that bad for it. But Dre Gates, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. We'll happily take that, especially when the guy on the other side of the field had like 4. So we will happily take that. Ryan Reynolds absolutely popped off today. Good for him. And we had a few guys with a couple interceptions, obviously, as well. Good performance all around. So coming out of that now, we pick up a big win against Georgia like we always do. And we are going to head into number 2, Notre Dame, in the next video, guys. That's, yep, the big game. The next and probably last big game of our season is against Notre Dame, who obviously has natty hopes heading in, or not heading into, but, heading into this game. So hopefully we can beat the Fighting Irish and stay number 1 and keep the win streak alive.